Good evening. Okay, that was a warm-up. Good evening. Welcome, 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 everyone. I'm Jenny Romick, Associate Dean for Academic Affairs at the school and Professor of Social Work at the University of Washington. On behalf of the faculty, staff, and students, I am delighted to welcome our graduates, their families and guests, and all who have joined us to the graduation ceremony tonight. Thank you all in joining us in this celebration of the distinguished graduating class of 2026. A special welcome and sincere thank you to our esteemed keynote speaker, you, and one of our illustrious alumni, Councilmember Dion Foster. For the enjoyment of all and hopefully the embarrassment of none, I ask everyone to silence your cell phones during the celebration. Also, for accessibility needs, there's an elevator in the corner behind me to my left. As we begin our celebration tonight, please join me in acknowledging the original caretakers of these lands, the Coast Salish and Lushootseed speaking people, past, present, and future. We give thanks for the privilege of living, working, gathering, and being in community on their land. Before we begin our main program, we have a message from Dean Michael Spencer, who is unable to be here this evening.
Good afternoon, graduates, families, friends, faculty, and staff. Let me begin with what is probably the most obvious thing. I'm not with you in person today, which, as many of you know, is highly unusual. I rarely miss graduation because there are few moments in life as meaningful as this one. So where am I? Well, today I'm at my daughter's wedding. I deeply regret missing this ceremony, but this is one event I simply could not be away from. As social workers, we understand the importance of relationships and showing up for the people we love. And today, that means being in two places in my heart, even if I can only be in one place in person. Graduates, what you have accomplished is extraordinary. You've chosen a profession that requires not only skill and knowledge, but compassion, resilience, and courage. You've listened and learned deeply, thought critically, and act with purpose. As you move forward, remember, change is often quiet, but it is always meaningful. The work you do matters and makes a real impact in the lives of those with whom we serve, in both ways that are visible and unseen. I'm incredibly proud of you and all that you will go on to do. While I am celebrating from afar and likely trying not to cry at a wedding, I am celebrating with you wholeheartedly. Congratulations, class of 2026.
Tonight, we come together to honor the accomplishment of 306 extraordinary, passionate people who have given and sacrificed so much to reach this moment. Together, we have navigated what has been one of the most tumultuous periods of time in social work, higher education, and our country. As public servants, we are dedicated to the well-being of the nation's most vulnerable. We will not waver from our school's commitment to commit ourselves to promoting social and economic justice and enhancing the quality of life for all. We achieve this through our educational mission to train future social work practitioners, educators, and leaders who will challenge injustice and promote a more humane society, and whose actions will be guided by vision, compassion, knowledge, and discovery, and deep respect for human diversity and strengths. We achieve this through research that engenders understanding of complex social problems, illuminates human capabilities for problem solving, and promotes effective and timely social intervention. And finally, through our service, we enhance the health, well-being, and empowerment of disadvantaged communities and populations at local, national, and international levels. As newly minted BASW, MSW, and the small but powerful PhD graduates, I hope that you will carry this mission with you beyond this campus and into the community. In a world that needs social workers more than ever, we could not be more proud of our graduates, nor more excited about the commitment to social justice that you made by choosing social work as your profession. At the same time, we acknowledge that no one is an island. Each of us is lifted to success by the love, support, and sacrifice of many others. So before I pay tribute to the graduates today, I'd like to recognize some amazing people here with us. First and foremost, will the families, friends, and loved ones of our graduates please stand? Honored guests, the School of Social Work joins with our graduates in extending our deepest thanks and sincere appreciation to all of you. You have made the truly big sacrifices. You have given up precious family time, provided unending support and encouragement so that our graduates could concentrate on their studies. Many of you urged the financial burdens of our students, and all of you, by showing up today, have demonstrated your faith in your loved one's ability to succeed. For all these reasons and more, the graduation ceremony is an embrace and celebration of you. If you're able, stand up again, because I want one more joyous and raucous round of applause for the friends and families of our graduates. Next, will the incomparable staff and faculty of the school please stand to be recognized? A round of applause, please, for this faculty and staff of the School of Social Work. Thank you all. Saving the best for last, will the distinguished graduates of 2026 please rise to be recognized? Biggest round of applause. Thank you. Take a load off. All right, esteemed class of 2026, you graduate in times of great tumult and turbulence, but never doubt that you are part of a greater community of social workers who will work and fight alongside you and other organizations, coalitions, and communities. For the universal right for health care and reproductive rights. For the inalienable rights of queer, trans, and two-spirit immigrant, BIPOC, and refugee communities. For the protection and thriving of all populations subject to marginalization, oppression, and violence, and indeed for the survival of our planet and all living beings who will thrive on it. As the next generation of social workers, I know that you will step into this tumult, into this turbulence, in order to bend the long arc of the moral universe towards social justice. Class of 2026, you are an unstoppable, unwavering, and immeasurable force for good. Congratulations, and thanks to all of you in advance for the change you're going to make in the world. We are blessed to have some very talented students among our graduates, and we'll have several performances throughout our program tonight. Unfortunately, the student who was in the program first to perform was not able to do so, but I would like to now introduce another student performer, one of our graduating MSW students, Allison Marine, to share some thoughts with us.
That was a long walk. Please give me a second. Bienvenidos. Término, justicia lingüística. Definición, todos merecen entender y ser entendido. También pienso que significa mirar y sentirse mirado, escuchar y sentirse escuchado, tener y sentirse tenido. Term, language justice. Definition, everyone deserves to understand and be understood. I think it also means to see and feel seen, hear and feel heard, hold and feel held. How many people here communicate in more than one language? ¿Quién aquí se comunica en más de un idioma? Te miro, te escucho. Este espacio es para ti. I see you, I hear you. This space is for you. I have professional experience providing social services in Spanish, and I have personal experience speaking the language with my family and community. In my work, I often hear, agradezco que hablas español. I'm grateful you speak Spanish. Deep gratitude for having access to communicate in a language where we can express ourselves and be understood. And to think, in English, this is the bare minimum. Agradezco que hablas español. Es lo que me decía la mayoría de pacientes hispanohablantes. Y yo aquí, agradecida porque cuando hablamos el mismo idioma, me puedo enfocar en tu expresión corporal, tus referencias, y lo más importante es que puedo reírme de tus chistes. Y para pensar, eso es lo mínimo en inglés. I'm so grateful you speak Spanish, and I'm grateful to be in this relationship with you. Because when we speak the same language, I can focus on your body language, facial expressions, cultural references, and most importantly, I can laugh at your jokes. And to think in English, this is the bare minimum. Language holds the power to oppress across all levels. We're complicit in linguistic genocide when we benefit from American imperialism. We're complicit in past and active erasure of people's languages and the people who speak them when we're participating in wars and conflicts abroad, when we displace populations to build plantations, settler farms, data centers, detention camps, and universities. Language has the power to create and be in relationship, to inform community, to create and sign petitions, to act on community needs, and to organize. And there are people who see this as a threat to the point they sign an executive order declaring English as the official language of the US, as if that will stop us from talking to each other. Lenguaje tiene el poder para oprimirnos, y nosotros que beneficiamos del imperialismo estadounidense somos cómplices de genocidio lingüístico y de la borradura de idiomas y de las personas que los hablan cuando participamos en las guerras y conflictos en el extranjero. Y cuando desplazamos poblaciones para construir plantaciones, centros de datos, campos de detención y universidades. Igual, el lenguaje tiene el poder para crear y estar en relación, para informar a la comunidad, para crear y firmar peticiones, y para actuar en las necesidades de la comunidad y para organizarnos. Y hay personas que se sienten desafiados hasta el punto de declarar el inglés como idioma oficial de los Estados Unidos, como si eso nos detuviera de seguir comunicándonos. Our systems do not value multilingual skills adequately. You may know that if you're accessing a place that uses federal funds, like when you see a doctor, go to a court, or apply for government benefits, you're entitled to an interpreter who is paid hourly by the place you're accessing. As a bilingual therapist, though, I don't need an interpreter when working with Spanish-speaking clients. You might be thinking that I make a lot of money for providing services in another language, and you'd be wrong. There is nothing at the federal, state, or local levels guaranteeing me compensation for speaking another language. But sometimes I get paid an extra $1 an hour if my employer values this skill. Imagine my position, today receiving a master's degree, pursuing a career as a bilingual, bicultural therapist, and still being exploited for my language and culture. This master's degree feels heavy. The systems do not appropriately value our skills. I am not the only person experiencing this injustice. To my peers entering the government and nonprofit workforce, language justice applies directly to you. Become familiar with and initiate policy changes within organizations. Introduce and advocate for bills, and know your multilingual peers and interpreter and translation resources. To staff and faculty at this university with considerable power and years of making connections, you are directly responsible for seeking opportunities for multilingual students, providing professional support, funding these students, and divesting from companies that directly harm people, land, and the global majority. Stop extracting, seek relationship. Para la gente multilingüe en este espacio, te miro, te escucho, eres yo, y mira dónde estamos. Estamos guiados por el apoyo de nuestras familias, amistades y comunidades, por nuestros antepasados, nosotros mismos y a las generaciones después de nosotros. Nadie nos puede quitar este poder y también merecemos la justicia. To the multilingual people in this space, I see you, I hear you, I am you, and look at where we are. We are guided by the support of our friends, families, and communities, by those before us, among us, and after us. No one can take this power from us, and we deserve justice. Thank you. And let's give a round of applause to my parents, with whom without I wouldn't be able to say anything without. And a round of applause to our interpreters and translators who are here for us today.
Oh, thank you, Allison. Thank you to your classmates who encouraged you to do this, and thank you to your family who raised such a powerful person. So, all right. Every year, graduating bachelor's and master's students nominate a faculty member to receive the Student's Choice Teaching Award on behalf of their respective cohorts. These faculty are recognized for their outstanding contributions to classroom teaching and are selected based on their enthusiasm and student support in the learning and teaching process, and for inspiring independent and original thinking in students. They are both new and longtime instructors and share a love for teaching and learning. All of us at the school congratulate our faculty on these awards. This year, the graduating BASW students selected Dr. Christian Jones for the Student's Choice Teaching Award. I'd like to... I think they would have also chosen you for best dressed, but we had to keep things short here. I'd like to read his plaque, which includes this quote from his students: "Embodiment of hope and determination to build a better world." Congratulations, Christian. For the MSW Student Choice Teaching Award, the graduating students have selected Alice Ryan and Laura Okoloko. Alice, please stand to have me walk over and hand you your award, which includes this quote from the students who nominated you: "Teaches with heart, passion, and a wonderful sense of humor." Our next awardee is Laura. Your plaque includes this quote from the students who nominated you: "Grounded in respect for others' self-determination." The School of Social Work's Luanne Gilchrist Doctoral Mentor Award honors Lou Gilchrist, Professor Emeritus, who was known for her commitment to student mentorship and teaching over her long career at the school. This honor recognizes faculty who are dedicated to the promise and success of PhD students through mentorship, scholarly guidance, and moral support. You know this guy. This year, the Doctoral Mentor Award is awarded to Dr. Christian Jones. The doctoral students... You just go get it. In writing their letters of support, the doctoral students and Christian's plaque wrote, "Intentional, engaged, and authentic mentor." Tonight, we have the privilege of welcoming a keynote speaker whose life and work embody the energy and passion for social change that the UW School of Social Work hopes to send into the world. Seattle City Council member Dion Foster represents position-wide position 9 citywide, where she chairs the Council's Housing, Arts, and Civil Rights Committee and serves on the governing board of the King County Regional Homelessness Authority. For more than 15 years, Dion has worked to expand access and improve outcomes for the people all too often left behind, with a steady focus on housing equity, LGBTQIA+ rights, and immigrant and civil rights and representative democracy across our state. And her urgent advocacy for climate justice centers low-income communities and communities of color. Dion was raised by a single mother who served in the Army and later became a teacher. As a teenager, Dion worked 2 jobs, starting off as a fast food worker and hostess, alongside people supporting entire families at or just above minimum wage. That experience shaped her lifelong commitment to economic justice and strong labor standards. She put herself through college with grants, loans, and part-time work, earning the Spirit of King Award and the Dennis Weathers Award at George Mason University for her dedication to civil rights and cross-cultural understanding. She then earned her Master's of Social Work degree right here at the University of Washington and returned to teach the next generation of social workers as a member of our faculty. In her few short months on City Council to date, she has championed legislation to better protect sensitive data collected by local government, expand housing options, and serve our most vulnerable residents. Graduates, she is living proof of where a social work degree can take you. Please join me in welcoming Dion Foster.
Good evening, graduates. Y'all know I'm black, right? We're gonna do that one more time. Good evening, graduates. Thank you, I feel heard. All right, I have to tell you, it is an honor to be here with you all today. As your Seattle City Council member, as a former educator here at the School of Social Work, and most importantly, as a graduate of this very MSW program. Yeah. Being here with you is really special because this school was a pivotal place for me. But I kind of ended up here in a funny way. So when I applied to graduate school, I actually submitted my application, I'm gonna call it 10 minutes to midnight on the final day that the applications were due. And part of that was because I had just become a new mom. I think my son, thank you. Yes, okay, working parents. My son was 3 weeks old when I pushed send on my application materials. I had been working in a restaurant when I was pregnant with my son, and I knew that in order to afford childcare, rent, and everything that he was going to need, I had to go back to school. And I was thrilled when I got into one of the top-ranked social work programs in the country, right here at the UW. And I was thrilled because I wanted to be a part of changing the rules that I felt like were so fair for so many people. I wanted to make a difference, and I wanted really deeply to be a helper. And so I came here to study social work. And to be honest with you, with where I'm at in my career right now as a city council member, it's easy to look back and say why this was the right decision for me. It would be easy for me to say that when I applied to school that I had it all figured out. It would be easy to say that I knew this degree and this education was gonna set me on the path that I've been on for the last decade. It would be easy to say that when I applied, I knew I wanted to have a career in public policy and public service. And I had a plan to get a job first as an advocate and an organizer and understand exactly how external advocacy shapes outcomes. It would make sense if I told you that I made this decision and I went on to work in local government as an advisor to a previous mayor because I was making a choice to go see how our systems function from the inside. If I told you that I went to work in philanthropy because I was curious about the role of funding as a catalyst for social change and how money can be used to unlock some ideas or hold other ideas back, I think that you'd believe me. And it's true, my career has taken me to all of those places. And it's also true that every time I took an opportunity, I never had it all figured out. 11 years ago, I was sitting where you are right now, and I was hot and sweaty. I see y'all with the fans. It was hot then, too. I was listening to a graduation speech. I was feeling hopeful. I was feeling nervous. I didn't have a 5, 10, or 15-year plan. What I had was a good education, an incredible amount of ambition, and a really fantastic network of peers and mentors and people who supported me and believed in me. And I get to be here today because of the investments that those people made in me. So today, I'm not going to tell you how to solve our biggest problems, but they are big, and they do need social workers. I'm not going to tell you how to manage uncertainty in a time of growing AI and automation, but I will tell you I'm proud that this week the Seattle City Council voted to ban data centers from being built in our city. With a 1-year moratorium. And I won't tell you how important justice and equity are to building the future that we deserve, because you all know that, because you went to school here. What I want to share with you instead is some of the best advice that I've ever gotten in my career. First as a student, and then later on when I went to work. These are the things that I come back to when I have to make hard decisions, which is often, when I don't feel like I have enough gas in the tank or enough energy to get through the day, or when I feel tempted to take the easy way out. And the first piece of advice that I want to share with you is actually something that a professor shared with me while I was still a student here. I had asked a professor out to coffee because I was curious, because I wanted a job. So I took this professor out to coffee, and I got to hear all about his career and work that he had done at the federal level on pay equity, on self-determination. He was somebody I just looked up to and totally admired. And as we were wrapping up our coffee, I asked him if he had any advice for me. And he tells me this: Dion, you are going to find yourself in rooms that you never thought that you would be in. And when you get to those moments and you look around and you think, how did I get here? You have a responsibility to speak. And when he told me this, I was like, me? I'm gonna be in these spaces? And I didn't see it for myself, if I'm being honest with you, at the moment. But I've never forgotten that advice. And because that advice wasn't a suggestion, it wasn't a nudge, it was clear that I have a responsibility. Because what I've come to understand is that people who are in rooms that are making decisions that affect real people's lives need to hear from people like you. They need to hear from people like us. People trained in this discipline. People who understand systems, people who understand trauma, equity, and community. People who have chosen to dedicate their careers to human dignity. Your voice is not extra, it is a necessity. I know that it can feel risky to speak up, especially early in your career. Don't tell anyone, but I'm 37. And especially when you're in rooms where you're the youngest person, or the least credentialed, or the one whose background looks a little different from everyone else's. I know what it's like to wonder if your perspective is going to be taken seriously, but I also know what happens when people who should speak don't. And the consequences are dire for the communities that we care about. Communities get left out, and the gap between people and policy gets wider. So when you are in that room, and graduates, each of you, my second piece of advice is a little bit lighter, and it's one of my favorite sayings, and it goes like this: be a cucumber. Y'all don't know that one? So stay with me. This is a piece of advice that came to me when I was at a job that I felt like, oh my gosh, who hired me to do this? Can I do this? How did I get here? And there was another woman working there who I thought, wow, she's so smart, she's so cool, she's so qualified, I want to be her. So I took her out to coffee, which may be the point of my speech, take everyone that you want to get to know out to coffee. And she gave me this advice. She said, Dion, your job is to be a cucumber. And here's what she meant. When you start a new job, when you start a new role, when you come to a new organization, you get dropped into the brine, the culture of that organization, whatever is happening there. Every workplace has it. Cynicism that is built up over years of budget cuts, exhaustion of staff who used to burn bright and have got burned out, unwritten rules about what you're not supposed to say, which battles are not worth fighting, which ideals had to be set aside somewhere along the way. That's the brine. It's real, it's powerful, it's tempting, and it will try to change you. And a cucumber that gets dropped into brine long enough becomes a pickle. It can't go back. So your job is to not become a pickle. Your job is to stay a cucumber. And that doesn't mean being naive, as some people will tell you that it does. It doesn't mean ignoring the realities of how organizations work. I took that class as well. It means protecting the freshness that you're walking in right now, the feeling that you're having right now, your values, your vision, your belief, your commitment that the world can be better than it is right now. These are not signs of inexperience. These are your assets. The world doesn't need more pickles, except on a hoagie. It needs people who walk into difficult systems and refuse to be transformed by them. It needs people who are committed to transforming the systems themselves. Yeah, we can do that. We love a clap. That's good, because I'm back to my somber advice now. My final piece of advice came to me last year. So I stand before you today as a graduate, a former educator here, and as an elected official. And when I made the decision to run for office, it was super scary. And the way that it started was I started sort of thinking in my head, I think I could do this. I think I want to put myself out there in this way. Then I started to sort of say it out loud. I said it to some close friends, like, I think I'm going to run for office. And they were like, we think you should too. And then I started to go out and ask more people for advice. And eventually I reached out to someone who I really, really respected. Someone who I knew to have sharp intellect, someone who's calm, someone who's wise. And I was like, I think I'm gonna run for office. And I'd gained some confidence by that point. Everyone had told me I should do it. And her response really surprised me. She didn't say, go for it. She didn't say, oh my God, you're gonna be so great. She looked at me dead in my eyes and said, are you prepared to lose? Yeah, that's how it felt. And I'll be honest, I felt stung. I felt like, wow, this is someone I thought believed in me, and I don't think she does. My ego was bruised. I had come to her expecting encouragement. And to be frank, she gave me something that was actually a lot more valuable. Because after sitting with it, I realized it was exactly the right question for me. It wasn't really actually a question about, do I think I could win? Do I think I could lose? It was a question that was, are you ready to step into this and take on all of the risks and all of the possibilities without a guarantee of what the outcome is going to be? And will that question, I might lose, I might fail, will that question stop you from trying? And for me, what I realized is that's what courage is about. It's not about a guarantee. It's not about not being afraid. It's about looking at all of the options and saying, I'm going to choose the thing that I know is right, and I might lose. And graduates, I hope that you take that into your careers with you. When you have opportunities to say, this is the easy path. This is the guaranteed path. This is the path without risk. And then you look at another path and you say, and that's where I want to be, and I might lose. Go. Do the thing that feels scary. Risk it. Try it. Maybe you'll be a Seattle City Council member. And it's a hard job. And the thing I really want to say is, social work is not a field, and you know this, social work is not a field for people who need guarantees. Social work is a field for people who show up anyway. So I want to leave you with this. Some of you know exactly where you're going to be in 5, 10, 15, 20 years. Some of you are trying to figure out how to get through the next 5 days. That's where I was at graduation. And both of those are okay, because your career, your passion, your beliefs, they're gonna take you to places that you cannot dream of right now. 11 years ago, I was sitting right there, and I had no idea that I would be standing here in front of you all today. So I leave you with this: be a cucumber, be prepared to lose, and remember to speak anytime you have the opportunity, because it is your responsibility. Congratulations, graduates.
One cool cucumber, Dion Foster. Thank you, Dion. I'm now happy to invite Geraldine Myers up to speak to us a bit about our Child Welfare Training and Advancement Program.
Hello, my name is Geraldine Myers, and I have the honor of being the director of the Child Welfare Training and Advancement Program, what we otherwise refer to as CTAP. CTAP is a federally funded partnership between the University of Washington School of Social Work and the Washington State Department of Children, Youth, and Families. CTAP promotes continued professionalization, recruitment, and retention of social workers serving in the public child welfare system statewide. Since 1991, the School of Social Work has graduated over 800 CTAP students, including 34 this academic year. CTAP participants receive educational assistance along with an extensive academic and practice-based focus on professional social work with diverse population of children, youth, and families served by the public child welfare system. Upon graduation, CTAP participants commit to serving children and families as employees of the Washington State Department of Children, Youth, and Families Child Welfare Program. Each year, the CTAP team, in collaboration with the child welfare faculty and DCYF employees, recommend MSW students for the CTAP Scholar Award. Those recommended consistently excel both as student practitioners and scholars. This year, we have chosen 2 CTAP scholars. I will announce each student's name and ask that you join us in celebrating them as they come up to receive their certificate. The first scholar is Emily Hodges, full-time student.
So walk behind you or the other way?
This way. You can- Okay. And our next scholar recipient is Annie Lovato from part-time program. Congratulations, Annie. Congratulations. You did great. We thank you and congratulations to each of you.
Next, I would like to invite another one of our graduating MSW students, Win Hong Vo, who also goes by Christina, to perform a song.
Whoa. Whoa. So the song I'll be performing is called One Day by Matisse Yahoo. Sometimes I lay under the moon and thank God I'm breathing. Then I pray, don't take me soon, 'cause I am here for a reason. Sometimes in my tears I drown, but I'll never let it get me down. So when negativity surrounds, I know someday it will all turn around, because all my life I've been waiting for, I've been praying for the people to say that we don't want to fight no more. There'll be no more war, and our children will play one day, one day, one day. Oh, well, one day, one day, one day. It's not about win or lose, 'cause we all lose when they feed on the souls of the innocent. Blood-trained pavement, keep on moving though the water stay raging. And in this maze, you can lose your way, your way. It might drive you crazy, but don't let it face you, no way, no way. Sometimes in my tears I drown, but I'll never let it get me down, get me down. So when negativity's around, oh, but no, someday it will all turn around, because all my life I've been waiting for, I've been praying for the people to say that we don't want to fight no more. There'll be no more wars, and our children will play one day, one day, one day. Oh, oh, one day, one day, one day. One day this all will change, treat people the same. Stop with the violence, down with the hate. One day we'll all be free and proud to be under the same sun, singing song of freedom like why all my life I've been praying for, I've been waiting for the people to say that we don't want to fight no more. There'll be no more wars, and our children will play one day, one day, one day. Oh, oh, one day, one day, one day. Oh, one day.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Thank you for that amazing performance. Thank you. Now we've come to the most important part of the program, the conferring of degrees. Yeah, you're like, finally. All of our students will be called by name and cross the stage to be recognized and receive a scroll. Additionally, the School of Social Work's Office of Advancement and Alumni Relations has a modest gift for students as they leave the stage. We will begin with the presentation of the PhD in Social Welfare degrees in alphabetical order. We will say a few words about each of our graduates, after which they will be hooded by the chairs or another member of their doctoral committee. I'd like to now invite my colleague, Dr. Roberto Orellana, the chair of our PhD program in social welfare, to present the PhD candidates.
Hello, good evening. My name is Roberto Orellana, and I'm the director of the doctoral program in social welfare at the University of Washington. And it is truly an honor to preside. Oh. I'm gonna put this on. Or the awarding of the PhD in social welfare degrees. The faculty, the staff, and the many students who have worked with our graduates are so happy to extend our warmest congratulations to each of our graduates. The doctorate in social welfare is the highest degree awarded in social work, which culminates in the writing of the doctoral dissertation, a significant piece of original research. For the families and friends who have supported these graduates, I can assure you that it has been all worth it, since your graduate is well on their way to becoming a leader in their communities and a person who will contribute to the uplifting of our society. Our doctoral program here at the University of Washington is nationally and internationally recognized. As a result, our doctoral graduates are highly sought after for their ability to bring a deep commitment to social justice and scientific reasoning to bear on the most pressing social issues of our time. For more than 30 years, our graduates have moved on to distinguished careers at leading universities, research centers, and social welfare organizations. In this year's 5 outstanding graduates continue that legacy. We are proud of them and welcome them as future faculty, colleagues, and scholars. It is our tradition each year to have one of the doctoral students speak to all of you about their journey to the PhD. This time, I'm very pleased to introduce Tess Abramson Richards to make the doctoral student address.
Good day, good evening, everyone. I am, as of today, Dr. Tess Abrahamson Richards. I am a very proud citizen of the Spokane tribe, a mom to two, thank you, a mom to 2 wonderful girls who are here tonight, and a friend, colleague, and relative to many others here and in our broader community. I'm very honored that my fellow PhD students selected me to speak tonight after Adam dropped out. Although, not from the program, just from the speech. But I admit that at first I wasn't sure about saying yes to standing up here in front of all of you in my finest wizard outfit. But you've made my mom very happy, and I wouldn't be here without her example and support, so thank you for making her night. I also spoke with my dear friend Saratha, who's here, about doing this speech, and and she reminded me that we as Indigenous women PhDs are the 1% of the 1%, and that is the roughly 1% of anyone who gets a PhD, period, and within that group, the less than 1% of doctoral degree holders who are Indigenous. I guess. Yeah. I forget about that statistic, to be honest, because I'm lucky to be surrounded by Indigenous people all the time who have pursued social work higher education at the MSW and doctoral levels. This is true both when I'm here on campus, when I'm in national social work academic spaces, and at my wonderful work home, Hummingbird Indigenous Family Services, where we have 7 UW social work alums and another MSW graduate tonight, Rosalie. Yeah. UW Social Work has been a hub for Indigenous scholars and practitioners and a leader in Indigenous social work scholarship because of the spaces built by current and former Indigenous faculty and staff, our dean, supportive allies, and our Indigenous student communities over the years. I'm so glad to step into such a beautiful legacy and to represent it by standing up here at this podium. I'm also grateful and proud to represent such an excellent group of graduating PhD students. From my cohort, we have brilliant Kanaka Maoli scholar, Dr. Kilohana Haitsuka. Another Indigenous 1%er who's doing important work for the future of her community and their rights on their Hawaiian homelands. And we have Doctors Natalie Turner and Brittany Jones-Cobb, whose work focuses on creating a more just and caring society for older adults. The four of us started the program together with many hours spent studying in our windowless basement office, and it's so beautiful to graduate together tonight. Then we also have our cohort adoptee who completed 2 degrees during her time here, Dr. Sarah Porter. Her work centers community and lived experience voices within behavioral health systems transformation. Woo. As you can tell from these briefest of descriptions, these are not only brilliant people, but scholars who care about doing work with real-world impacts that center justice and humanity. I think that's true of everyone in our program, not only those of us graduating today, because it's what led us to pursue our degrees in social work in the first place. I've witnessed that same conviction among the MSW students that I've had the privilege to teach over the last few years. Their work reminds me that social workers have been tasked with showing up to offer something meaningful to your clients within systems that are not just broken, but built on scant resources and a society that has struggled to build any strong systems of collective care. Social workers sign up to face this system head on and to do the seemingly small but deeply sacred work that happens one-on-one, often in life's toughest moments. But for most of us, we never considered another path in life because we weren't built to look away. And I'm sure we have many of our family members, mentors, and friends here in the room tonight to thank for building those values in us, as well as hope and passion. So thank you for all the work that you do and for who you are to all of our family and friends who came out to support us. And congratulations to all my fellow graduates in the class of 2026.
Thank you, Tess, and best wishes to you. All right. That was a very important speech, and I just want to highlight again that 1% of 1% aspect and how, if you didn't catch it, as Tess was speaking here, the 2 other Native professors were on her side on the screen, so that was very, very special to notice. I will now read the names and a little bit about our 5 graduating students who will come up on stage and be hooted by their committee chair or a member of their committee. And we'll start again with Tess Abramson Richards. Tess is a citizen of the Spokane tribe and outside of school works as the Director of Data Sovereignty at Hummingbird Indigenous Family Services. Tess has successfully defended her dissertation entitled Intersecting Governance Structures, Implementation Processes, and Indigenous Family-Centered Policymaking. The committee is composed of her chair, Jenny Romick, who will hood Tess, and other committee members, including Dr. Tessa Evans-Campbell from the School of Social Work, Dr. Mayra Parker from the Department of Psychiatry, and Dr. Heather Hill from the Evans School of Public Policy and Governance here at UW. After graduation, Tess is moving to California to join University of California, Berkeley, the School of Social Welfare, as Assistant Professor of Native American Community Health. And Tess is grateful to have her family here with her today. Next is Kilohana Haitsuka. Kilo has also defended their dissertation entitled Main Thing, You Hawaiian, a mixed methods analysis of blood quantum criteria for the Hawaiian Homelands Preservation Acts. Their committee chairs include Dean Mike Spencer, who, as you know, is not here tonight, by Dr. Jenny Romick, who is on the committee. A committee member will do the hooting. The other committee members include Mayra Parker, Angel Ferig, and Dr. Samantha Kealuna Scott from the University of Hawaii, who also supports Kilo in their work. Kilo wants to acknowledge their deepest gratitude to the ancestors, community, and lands that got her here. Kilo says, to my partner, my brother, and the wonderful women I'm graduating alongside, I aloha you eternally. Next, Brittany Jones Cobb. Brittany has successfully defended their dissertation entitled Advancing Health Equity Among Older Adults Without Care Partners, Evidence to Support Culturally Tailored Intervention Development. The committee is composed of their chair, Dr. Karen Frederickson Golson, who will hood Brittany. And other committee members include Clara Berridge, Hyun Jung Kim, and Dr. Jean Healy from the School of Social Work and Department of Nursing and Healthcare Leadership. With a career in social work and a newly minted PhD, Brittany heads to a postdoctoral fellowship at Penn State, where she will continue her dedication to health equity for older adults. She is deeply grateful for her spouse, who made it possible to complete this program and love her through it, and her daughter, who inspires and grounds her every day. Next, we have Sarah Fatima Porter. Sarah also has successfully defended their dissertation entitled Reimagining Behavioral Crisis Systems Through Peer-Led Workforce Development. Committee is composed of their chair, Dr. Jenny Romick, who will hood Sarah, and other committee members, Dr. David Takeuchi and Christian Jones from the School of Social Work, as well as Jess Stallman Rainey and Elaine Walsh from the School of Nursing. In addition, Sarah would like to thank Dr. Shandan Reddy from Gender, Women, and Sexuality Studies for all their support and guidance provided. Sarah was named the Holistic PhD Peer Mentor in 2025 by her colleagues and is completing her dual MSW PhD degree today. And that was carried by the immeasurable support of her family and community. Sarah is honored to end this journey tonight with MSW students that she has had the privilege of teaching and their brilliant doctoral colleagues who helped her find her way here. Sarah will be joining the University of Pittsburgh School of Social Work this fall as an assistant professor. And Sarah has a guest room in her new place in Pittsburgh that she hopes you will come visit. And then we have Natalie Turner. Natalie has successfully defended their dissertation entitled Towards Equitable Home and Community-Based Services Policy, examining the state generosity and disparities in use and health outcomes. Committee is composed of their chair, Dr. Clara Berich, who will hood Natalie, and other committee members that include Melissa Martinson from the School of Social Work, Dr. Amber Sabatini from the Department of Health Systems and Population Health, and Dr. Tracy Moros from the Department of Rehabilitation Medicine. Natalie is forever grateful for all the support she received from friends, family, colleagues, and mentors during this PhD program. And she's heading to the University of Minnesota for a postdoctoral fellowship in aging, long-term care, and dementia. Congratulations to you all, our new doctors and our new colleagues. It's been really an honor to see your journey. So once again, congratulations to all.
Our next presenter is Charlotte Sanders, Director of our Masters in Social Work program.
Good evening, graduates, families, friends, faculty, and honored guests. On behalf of the MSW program, I'm honored and excited to preside over the awarding of the Master of Social Work degrees to our 2026 graduates. Graduates, tonight you are receiving a graduate degree in social work to signify your years of dedication, perseverance, learning, growth, and commitment to social justice. The MSW degree is among the most demanding graduate disciplines due to the combination of classroom and practicum learning. It requires hundreds of hours of classroom instruction and homework, and over 1,000 hours of supervised direct practice experience in community settings, in addition to balancing other life demands. You've chosen to embark on a social work career at a very critical time in our history. With ongoing global conflict and unrest, growing mental health needs, economic uncertainty, social division, persistent inequities, and the many challenges that our most vulnerable and underserved communities face. As you step out into this world to do the important work ahead, be guided by your social work ethics, principles, and values, while holding social justice at the center of your practice and professional identity. Recognize your ever-shifting positionality in relationship to the communities you serve. Be vulnerable as a demonstration of your humility while responsibly seeking consultation and support. As you move through your career in social work, give some thought and attention to building your own resilience and sustainability. Acknowledge the complexity of this work and its impact on your mind, body, and spirit. Make intentional choices every day to nurture hope, to impart empowerment, invest in your passion, foster connection, engage community, include advocacy, and enjoy your purpose. And lastly, be kind to yourself as you continue your development. For as critical social workers, we are all required to be lifelong learners. Tonight, as we celebrate your significant achievement, We also want to recognize the many friends and family that have supported you along the way, many of whom are probably here with you tonight. So, take a moment, share a smile with your classmates sitting around you. Wave at your family and friends in the audience. And give a nod over here to your colleagues on stage as we welcome you into this profession. Because here you are, you did it. You are graduating. There are several students in particular that I'd like to recognize. Each year, a few students rise to the challenge of submitting a master's thesis, which is entirely optional. I'd like to recognize those 5 students this year. So students, when I call your name and read your thesis title, please rise at your seat for the recognition. James Earl Grigsby. With Jenny Romick as their chair, the title of James' thesis is From Mandate to Implementation, a comparative study of diversity, equity, and inclusion, professional development across Washington's public higher education institutions. Claire Louise Kessler. Has Terry Price as their thesis chair. The title of their thesis is Washington State's RCW 26.51, Domestic Violence, Post-Separation Litigation Abuse, and the Court's Mitigation of Complex Conflict. Alora Jean Yana. With Michelle Johnson Jennings as their chair, is completing their thesis entitled Framed for State Interest, Professional Perspectives on Involuntary Medication in Outpatient Competency Restoration. Breanne Rayburn. With Justin Lerner as their chair, entitled their thesis, Justice by Geography, Comparisons of Youth Poverty Rate and Juvenile Justice System Involvement in Washington State by County. Alta Millar. With Megan Moore as their thesis chair, is completing their thesis entitled Mental Health Care in Cardiac Medicine, a qualitative study with patients, spouses, and clinicians. Thank you. Additionally, I want to recognize that we have an empty chair among us, among our graduating MSW students. This chair was decorated by Sophia Davidson's peers from our UW Seattle BASW program. Sophia was supposed to be here graduating today with our advanced standing MSW students, but passed away about a year ago. This empty chair symbolizes the place that Sophia holds in our hearts and in the class of 2026. And now it is with great honor that we now present the Master of Social Work degrees. And joining me on stage are Alice Ryan and Ariana Cantu, who will read student names as they approach the stage.
Bring it, bring it. Mia Bouchard. Brett Gehrig. Marlene Liao. Kaylin Rosenthal. Haley McLeod. Carolina Joven Salazar. Shane Jones. Shandel Orr. Jordan Smith. Dominique Davis Griffin. Danielle Johnson. Lindsay Teal. Allison Ford. Tran Pham. Brinkley Holzhauser. P. Parker. Tyresha Alexander Travis. Alicia Ram. Faith Marcello. Jasmine Mabel Chen. Jack Verzieu. Charlotte Rowe Minor. Kamal Preet Karshu Lot. Rosalie Fish. Robert Self. Ryan Young. Janice Quinn. Fidelito Fuentes. Sarah Botten. Are we supposed to switch? Mary Childs. Hee Young Park. Elissa Lundgren. Nick Barclay. Grace Swanson. Ken Lin. Kelly Jeffs. Wen Yi Ren. Kivi Jung. Lisel Blanco. Roz Richmond. Sarah M. Aranez. Serena Pollard. Do you want that? Jane Zhao. Viridian Hellebore. Tate Hodson. Daisy Wilkinson. Landon Bracken. Elizabeth Bishop Williams. Callie O'Connor. Sonia Stork. Beth Cassidy. Sam Hibbard. Daisy Hartman. Mary Kate Montero. Devin Myers. Brandy Rivera. Jamish D. Sabrama. Jennifer Rawlings. Flannery Cohill. Samantha Teum. Reggie Costanzo. Ariel Marks. Dana Barnett. Claire Christ. Meg Englert. Anna Zurka. Madison Clay. Maggie Anderson. Alec Bellis. Sylvia Shu Wei Wang. Jonathan Yee. Claire C. Kessler. Melody Gao. Jakey Lanzana. Kellyanna Cotton. Alora Yana. Sam Flourish. Bree Rayborn. Heidi Johnson. Claire Ann Campbell. Shannon Butler. Callie McCollister. That was a good description. Marisha Cooper. Ali Lukoisi. Francisco Mendoza. Anthony Weissner. Sam Stewart. Okay. Emily Sutter.
Rachel Alquist. Congratulations. Jamila Baluk. Congratulations. Karen M. Romero Rivera. Congratulations. Oh my God, we're going to hold chant. Joshelle Paera. Congratulations. Melanie Beeman. Congratulations. Emma Wilson. Congratulations. Molly Jones. Seth Warner. Congratulations. Hunter Young. Oh, Matt Ing. Congratulations. Hi. Ellen Forney. Congratulations. June Shin. Ying Xia Yao. Yeah, congratulations. Congratulations. Hayamin Choi. Congratulations. Chen Hui Liu. Congratulations. Weiyon Sia. Weiyon Sia. Congratulations. Christina Vo. Oh my gosh. Congratulations. All right. Catherine Wright. Congratulations. Ryan Sanford. Hey, congrats. Molly Marchion. Congratulations. Kimberly Hoy. Congratulations. See you here. Thank you. Delaney Gibbs Logue. Hi, Natalie. Nicolette Mills. Congratulations. Sonia Pendery. Yana Martinez. Congratulations. Anastasia Kakorin. Susanna Spar. Brittany Barrett. Congratulations. Isaac Angel Robledo. Iris Gonzalez. Congratulations. Melissa Reyes. Congratulations. Is it Rua? Rua Reman. Congratulations. William Porrett. Congratulations. Micah Nordgren. All right. Alta Miller. Congratulations. Catherine Walker. Congratulations. Helen Head. Congratulations. Maeve? Oh, Maeve. Maeve M. Hindenburg. Congratulations. Stephen Kelly. Oh my gosh. Hannah Whittle. Congratulations. Of course. Kristen Wolf. Congratulations. Tyler Shogo. Congratulations. Okay. Caitlin Wire. Congratulations. Kelly Porter. Congratulations, my dear. Piper Hayden.
Allison Yomira Marin.
Congratulations. Erendira. Erendira Mercado. Mayra Mariscal. Congratulations. Emily Hedges. Jordy Leeds. Jessica Sarahi Cordero. Congratulations. Shirley Mendez. Congratulations. Cesar Linares Esteves. Miss you. Oh, thank you. I missed you. Oh, that's okay. Natalie Louis. Congratulations. You did it. Sky Keeley. Hey, girl. Abrielle Chan. Biying Zhang. Haolo Zhang. Amin Aminola. Taylor Sheldon. Hannah Gay. Shruti Gumaitai. Meredith Shilp. Ellie Henry. Angela Blodgett. Donovan Mason. Jordan Bice. Julissa Escobedo. Congratulations, you did it. Jarvis Duckworth. Congratulations. Jayla Gaines. Congratulations. Ethan Boone. Lawrence Parrish. Jordan Wynn. Swan Wynn. Congratulations. Danny Che. Tacey Peterson Deal. Congratulations. Angelina Lacey. Monica Potts. Lupe Valtiera Prieto. M.K. Phelps. Isabel Feingold. Annie Lovato. Kessia Tej. Nels Lund. Hannah Fisher. Congratulations. Kyra Hasley. Sarah Starrett. Olivia Curtis. Congratulations. Brittany Bates. Congratulations. Dustin Johnson. Jessica Cutler. Sydney Scherer. Gosh, okay. Eliza Palma. Julia Lumawig. Luis Martinez Antillon. Naidaline Arevalo. Esther Lau. Mark Lamb. You did it. Gwyneth White. Cristina Montero Dung. Melissa Sencion Lara. Alison. Alison Bigornia. Carla Isabel Rodarte Lemus. Alexandra Seidman. Carson Ball. You did it, Shyla. Shyla Reed. Grace Minor. Jasmine Rubalcava Duran. Deborah Nelson. Rosa Cruz Chisholm. Rebecca Brewer. James Grigsby. Aisha Dahir. Alexandria Allen. Alyssa Valencia Ramos. Jasmine Conteras Guevara. Evelyn Milan Lopez. Michelle Vasquez Navarro.
It is now time to award degrees to our Bachelors of Social Welfare students. Bill, will you please come up to the program?
Good evening. I'd like to ask all of us to congratulate our newly minted undergraduates here. In addition to fulfilling all the requirements at the University of Washington, social welfare students complete a large number of courses in the major. They complete a practicum where they work under professional supervision and apply the knowledge, the skills, and the values that they learn into the classroom in the field. Our students, our people here tonight, have worked on behalf of social justice programs throughout the region. They range from the Northwest Immigrants' Rights Project to the Department of Children, Youth, and Families. Our students graduate prepared for the rigors of generalist social work practice. They have a broad set of skills to work with individuals, families, and communities. And they use these to enact social justice goals and values. And perhaps most importantly, I know these students, they do this with compassion, dedication, and a commitment to skilled social work practice. I know many of you tonight, and I know how well positioned you are to bring all of these skills and values to your work into a world that urgently needs you. I and Nicole Gunther, our Assistant Director, are humbled and impressed by the work that you've done over the last 2 years. 24 of our students will be starting the Masters in Social Work programs. Some here. Many of those will come here and be here in a year. Others are going to schools throughout the country, including the University of Michigan and Columbia University. Six of our students completed departmental honors this year. And this means they completed a rigorous and independent research project on top of everything else they've done. I want to acknowledge them, name them, and recognize their work here tonight. They are Trinity Bowles, her work was Violent or Absent Fathers, Raise the Likelihood of Intimate Partner Violence Later in Children's Lives. Phelan Conady, To Lend a Heavy Hand, The Impact of ASL Interpreters on Deaf Mental Health. Chloe Fetters, Gender Nonconformity and Traumatic Brain Injury, Exploring the Intersection of Identity and Abuse. Noelle Louie, Art Therapy's Benefits for Chinese American Youth, a literature review. Sophia Tiburcio, Post-U.S. Migration and Indigenous Mexican Immigrant Families, Mental Health Impacts and Efficacy of Trauma-Informed Care. And Elahe Zaire, Trauma in Early Childhood, a Systematic Review of Assessment Tools. Congratulations on your hard work this year. These honors projects really go above and beyond what's already a challenging year. This evening, I'm delighted to say to all of you, congratulations. Wherever your careers take you, we want you to work for positive change throughout the world in your communities. And we hope that you will take what you've learned here to care for your communities, to care for one another, and to care for yourselves. I'd like to welcome David LaFasia up to the stage, who will announce the names and congratulate our graduates.
Sadine Aziad. Sara Lucata. J. Lion Mendez. Marissa Ma. Alahe Zare. Coca Rivera. Luan Pisano. Amanda Peters. Victoria Vanessa Ramirez. Kaylee Yoon. Patricia Ruth Mietta. Amelia Payne Garcia. Sophia Card LaFrance. Kat Peters. Michelle Nguyen. Layla Yared Afaweki. Liliana Salazar. Salma Habashi. Dante Williams. Rabile Warsame. Clarissa Perez. Lawrence Shea. Marlon Lemus Rodriguez. Jasmine Ann Yumena Divsar. Yan Yu. Olina Dalton Gilbertson. Dakota Cronus. Noel Louis. Chloe Fetters. Sophia Tiburcio. Trinity Bowles. Phelan Conhetti. George Tremmel II. Elliot McCullough. Sarah Bradshaw. Ryan Rodriguez. Nane Galoro. Ruth Asefa. Gabriel Morris. Camden Torres Urdaniva.
As we wrap up the evening, I'd like to invite up a dance team of MSW students led by graduating MSW student Alicia Lamb. Thank you, Alicia and team. We made it, people. Many, many, many congratulations, graduates. This is your day. Please take our heartfelt good wishes as you celebrate with your fellow students, families, and friends. And be sure to check back on the School of Social Work graduation website in a few days so you can watch again if you'd like, or share with people who are unable to attend this evening. We ask you to remain in your seats as the faculty lead the recessional, followed by our graduates. Once the graduates have left the arena and the stairs of the back, we invite all of you to make your way out of the arena. It is a beautiful night out there. We request that friends and family members meet their graduates outside in that beautiful night, rather than on the arena floor or on the top of the stairs, because those can cause traffic jams. Graduates, we celebrate and embrace each one of you as you begin your career as lifelong change agents, working to restore and strengthen our social fabric so that everyone can exercise their right to equal justice and joy. Thank you.